Adubon3 says, we will be staying between 2 and 4 nights per town and cooking our own meals. What is grocery shopping like in New Zealand, and what are quick, simple meals we can make that we are not spending too much time cooking? Could you recommend breakfast, packed lunch, and supper? Yes, we can. All right, so grocery shopping in New Zealand, we have plenty of videos about that. We also compare all the different prices, and we actually have a price of, kind of how expensive is New Zealand coming out for 2020. So it's going to come out in January, so we'll cover all of that for you. But in short, the supermarkets in New Zealand are all well stocked. You won't really have a hard time finding what you need, except if you look for very specific kind of items, like a specific brand or something. Well, you're probably going to have to deal with the New Zealand equivalent. For any kind of diet, like pescatarians, vegetarians, gluten-free, and all of that, there are all those options. So New Zealand has major supermarket. As long as you're smart enough and shop, when you go to a big city, you shop, and then you have your supplies, and then you go to the next city, and so on. So it's quite easy. I mean, we usually like to shop either every week or every 2 weeks, depending on where we're going, and we'd like to do a big shopping and be sorted with that, and then we just have to pick out of the car what we like.
But obviously when you're traveling more, you don't want to get things that are going to perish too easily, because you are going to be going from like accommodation to accommodation, and your food will probably only be in the fridge, well, for the days that you're actually staying in the accommodation. So it's really good to get supplies that you can keep for a while, and just have them, like, pastas and rices and all that sort of stuff, like in your car at the ready at your disposal. But then if you're looking for some more fresh sort of food, like fresh fruit and vegetables and things, that's better to sort of get once you arrive in the towns and stuff that you're visiting. And also the same applies to if you're getting like dairy products and that sort of thing. It's sort of best to not don't the worst thing you can do is buy bottles of milk. And they do not store very well, like especially when you're traveling around New Zealand. And if the thing that people hate if you're staying in hostels is if you buy a bottle of milk, someone's rummaging around in the fridge and it falls over and leaks over everyone's stuff. So there's a few items that's usually best to avoid, and milk is one of them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so now Adubon asks about kind of recommendations for food for breakfast, packed lunch, and supper. We can definitely do that, and we'll tell you what we usually eat when we're on the go, and we'll give you 2 options for each of those kind of meals, so you just do have a little bit of variety right here. Now, one of the things I want to preface is that usually what we do is that we plan something which can be a bit more efficient. So we use ingredients that we'll be able to use more along the way. Like
versatile.
Exactly. So we get let's say pasta, so we can use it for lunch and for dinner, and bread, we can use it for breakfast and then for lunch, and we make sure that it's quite flexible, so it's easier to kind of carry around. You don't pack too much, and also you use them faster, so then you always have kind of a bit more fresh food, right? So for breakfast, first option,
well, one thing you could get is muesli. That's really easy to carry around. It's dry. It's it's not cereal, but it's kind of cereal. It's a dry cereal. So you don't have to have
It's healthier than cereal.
It's healthier than cereal, So you don't have to have any special conditions to, pack it. Usually you can just keep it in the bag that you buy it in, and it's easy to travel around with for sure, and you can use it for obviously a whole week of breakfast. So that's always an easy option. Like I said before, milk is not really a good thing to buy to go with it. So what Robin and I actually used to do is we just cut up bits of fruit and put it in there and have it dry, which is actually really nice. But if you're feeling a little bit fancy, you might want to get a pot of yogurt or something to go with it. But I definitely recommend, it's easier to just eat it dry and put some fruit in there, because And also, just on that note as well, it's really important to make sure that you are staying healthy when you're traveling, because you're usually a lot more active when you're traveling, and you do need to have a kind of a little bit more nutrients and stuff like that. So definitely getting some fruit in your breakfast is always a good idea.
So when you have the muesli dry with fruit, you usually want to pick a juicy fruit, so like orange or pineapple or something like that, so it kind of gives the moisture to the muesli and it makes it really good to eat. So it's a really healthy option. Another option is toast. Obviously, everybody has toast for breakfast in hostels and everywhere. Every time you're gonna see like free breakfast, you can have toast on there. So a little bit of butter on it, or jams. If you want to make it super fancy, you go for like chocolate spread with bananas on it. You make it really nice like that. You can have strawberries and chocolate spread as well. You can have plenty of things. You can have honey and strawberries, really good as well. So toast is obviously always the easy one to get. And also the good thing about getting toast is that those sliced bread that you can get for toast, they're going to be very easy to use as sandwiches for lunch, which kind of is a spoiler for the next one. But so toast is quite an easy one. I think it's probably the most popular kind of on the go lunch everywhere. The reason why we prefer muesli is just because it's a little bit healthier. So if we happen to have toast, we usually have at least 2 pieces of fruit each. As well with that, just to make sure that we have our amount of vitamins that we need along the way. All right, for lunch now, a couple of ideas. Laura, do you want to get started?
Yeah, well, since you talked about toast and getting sliced bread, an obvious thing to do with that is to also make sandwiches. So, you could just get the fillings that you like for sandwiches.
Use the same bread. So like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that big loaf of bread that you bought for your toast, you could also use for your sandwiches. Sort of versatile ingredients that could go in there if you're a little bit of a cheese addict like Robin. Cheese is usually easy to travel around with. It's, everything is super, is the word pasteurized in?
Yeah, pasteurized.
Yeah, everything's super pasteurized in New Zealand. So like cheese lasts forever.
It doesn't, because I usually eat it in the same sitting. But
basically what I'm trying to say is it travels around well, and you can keep it out of the fridge for a day if you're traveling for the day, and between locations it's usually not a problem. So cheese sandwiches, or if you are buying sort of any other, like if you're into ham maybe, or other.
Yeah, the good thing with sandwiches, you can do everything. You can have avocado, you can have tomatoes, you can have lettuce.
You get some fresh ingredients from the supermarket.
And you can make it different every single week. So one of the good things about that is that, you need one spread. So like, let's say mayonnaise or aioli or whatever you like. And that's your one spread. And then the ingredients can change every day, and you get this variety as well. Because like on the go, usually we oscillate when we go for 1 week on the trip or something. We oscillate between only two recipes at most, right? Because we just like to keep it streamlined, and we usually our car is basically doesn't have space for food. We have cameras and stuff like that, work stuff all the time. So also situation is a little bit peculiar right here. But having sandwiches, that means that you can have actually a ton of variety, which is really good on the go, because otherwise it gets really repetitive. But sandwiches obviously is the one thing to go for. Now, one thing that would be really amazing that you could do at Dubon is that you come to New Zealand with those either Tupperware boxes or with those reusable food wraps. So like that, if you do have sandwiches, you don't have to do glad wrap all the time, because they're really bad for the environment. So the less glad wrap you can use, if you can find something reusable for that, that would be absolutely amazing. There's beeswax kind of stuff to wrap them, or there's just cloth wraps, or boxes, and that's the thing that we use usually.
And by glad wrap, that's kind of a New Zealand term for cling film or cling wrap. Just that plastic wrap that goes around, that sort of plastic stuff that
goes around the sandwich.
That goes around food and stuff,
All right, so the next thing that you can have for lunch on the go is rice or pasta salad. So that's a really cool thing to have, just because it's something that you can cook the night before. So let's say the night before you cook a big plate of rice or a big plate of pasta. Spoiler for the next two things we're going to talk about. You can keep some of those unflavored kind of pasta, and then you can add corn, you can add peas, you can add mayonnaise, you can add like a little bit of ham, time. You can add carrots. You add whatever ingredients you like in it. Same thing, that can be really kind of versatile as well. You can have a lot of different flavor to it, and you put them in your Tupperware box, and then get a spoon and then share that. We have lived on that. During New Zealand's biggest gap year, that you saw us traveling 365 days in New Zealand, doing 365 activities.
And it's all on YouTube, so you can go and look that up.
Exactly. And we ate that many lunches. Just because that's the thing, you can change the flavor all the time, and it's just awesome, and it's so easy to do, and it's very healthy as well. So it's kind of it's something that we really did like. Rice or pasta salad. You can put olives in there. You can put anchovies if you want.
Whatever you're into.
You can put tomatoes. You can make it awesome. I'm getting hungry, right? You can put cheese. You can put little dices of cheese. Oh. Awesome time. Anyway, so that's really awesome as well to do, and it's very easy to do as well in any hostel kitchen. Even like one of the good things as well with the thing that we're giving you right here is that we give you things that you can do even in the worst equipped hostel kitchen that you can find. All the things that we're talking about right now, you can do them with just one pot. And so I think it's quite important to have something that easy to make, because sometimes you're going to arrive in a holiday park or somewhere which have nothing, and so you don't have to make do with the one pan that everybody shares.
Exactly. Or even if you're staying in motels and stuff, and if you do have your own self-catering facilities or a kitchenette, usually that only really includes a couple of hobs and a few pots and pans. So these sort of meals you could all do on the hob. You don't have to use an oven or anything, so it kind of uses the minimum amount of utensils and cooking equipment needed.
All right, so let's start with dinner. And for dinner, well, you can do fried rice. Fried rice is super easy. Also, if you happen to do fried rice, what about you use the rice that you have made, and you keep a little bit of it to make a rice salad for the next day.
Wow.
Fried rice, super easy. Put whatever ingredients you like, a little bit of soy sauce, salt and pepper. I need fruit and vegetables. No, not fruit. I need vegetables that you like. Just put them in. Crack a couple of eggs in it, so you have your protein.
Or you can skip the eggs if you don't really want to travel around with eggs. The eggs is more of maybe if you're staying somewhere for a few days.
If you're in the car, you can have a box of eggs in the car, it's fine.
Well, you can, but
anyway. Alright, so anyway, you fry your rice and you serve it. It's that simple, it's super easy. There is nothing easier than fried rice.
And it's another way to get some more vegetables in as
well.
Exactly,
So that fried rice, super easy. Barely any convenience. I like fried rice. Next one.
So another thing you could do is
for super. We're on super now.
Just for a simple dinner meal is pasta. And the reason to make this is it definitely fills you up. It gives you all the carbohydrates you're gonna need for all those hikes you're gonna do. But it's also super easy to make. Or obviously, maybe I don't need to explain how to make pasta, but just in case, you just need to boil some water and put the dried pasta in and just wait about approximately 12 minutes, depending on what type of pasta you get.
If you want them way too well done, that's 12 minutes. Otherwise,
it says on the back of the packet 12 minutes. I always make note of that. But if you get fresh pasta, it's usually about 3 minutes.
There you
go.
So
it depends on which pasta you get, but dried pasta usually takes, let's say, 10 minutes then. And then with the pasta you can again.
If you're lazy, get your scan of sauces, and you have like 30 different sauces.
You can buy already pre-made sauces, or you can even just get a can of tomatoes, for instance,
and put whatever you like.
Throw that in, whatever sort of vegetables again, and things that you like inside. And
grate the cheese.
Cheese that you had for your sandwiches and for your rice salad or your pasta salad that you might be having for lunch, and there you go, some more versatile ingredients and a dinner meal as well that's really easy and super quick to make, and you'll be in and out of the hostel kitchen in no time with that.
Now on BackpackerGuide.NZ, we actually have some articles about food suggestions. So if you go on BackpackerGuide.NZ and in the search bar you type recipes, we actually have some recipes if you want a bit more variety in what you can make. But honestly, with those one here, if you're traveling for a couple of weeks or even a month in New Zealand, you're still gonna have enough variety to have fun with it, and it's so easy. And I personally like to streamline like the food section of the trip. It needs to be so much more streamlined, just because it can be a big waste of space and big waste of time as well. So I like to make the most of my time in New Zealand. So that's basically it. I hope that was super helpful to you, Adibo. If you find that useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Every single time you guys click on like, you say thank you for all our time spent helping you, which literally we do all week long on BackpackerGuide.NZ and every Sunday right here. All right, let's go over some of the comments that we have having.